Hello Pisces, welcome to your Astroflower reading. This is going to be the reading going from the 21st to the 26th of February. Funny February, and boy has it been funny. It's exactly what I was talking about, shooting things out of the sky, train crashes causing huge environmental problems. There's loads of things going on. It's completely funny February. And we're going to be moving into Magic March soon. We're marching our way into Magic March. And so the monthly readings will be coming out next week. You want to see that. Here today, we're going to be going through your chakras, your aura, and also doing the tarot reading at the end. There will be time stamped in the description below, so you'll be able to sort of get that. Let's just see what's going on with your aura and your chakras. Let's start with the chakras and let's see what's going on with Pisces at the moment. By the way, happy birthday. For all those Pisces are having birthdays in this week, happy birthday. Welcome to 2023. Strap in, put the seatbelt on because it's going to be a bumpy ride. Let's just see what's going on here. Yeah, so the root chakra here, then it needs a bit of organisation, one thinks. And the majority of you still got your birthday to come through. So for some of you, it might be a little bit more sort of concrete because you're moving into 2023. For those of you who still got your birthday coming up, you still got time to sort things out, what you want to do next year, that sort of thing. Let's just see what's going on your sacrum. Well, the sacrum seems to be pretty balanced for everybody. And I think that ties into what I talked about in the fusing of the chakras between the solar plexus and the heart chakra. That's been going on. That's mainly to do with the collective and in connection with the collective. That positioning should be done now, and that's still a case for the solar plexus and the heart chakra. But for the sacrum, yeah, it's really balanced. There seems to be a good sort of even keel between the work and play ethic in life. Things seem to be working not necessarily in your favour, but certainly things seem to be less stressful in a certain extent. Let's just see what's going on the solar plexus. So here's your solar plexus here. Okay, there's a lot seem to be going on the surface. So there's a lot of movement going on around you at the moment. It's demanding a lot of your time and passion, your courage, your sort of concentration, or your fire basically in everyday life. Let's just see what's going on with the petals. And the petals actually seem really good, but there is a lot of more fire in the outer section. So let's just pull the solar plexus out. So now it's horizontal like that sort of sense. Here's the pinch point that's inside you in the inversion point between the front and the back. And as we come out to the outer petals, that's where it starts getting thicker on the outer section. So this is the inner section here. And then once we get out to this section here, this is where it gets a lot thicker and a lot more full. There's a lot of potential in there. I would say that more than anything else. And it may be a case of you're observing what is going on in the world around you. You may find yourself sort of kind of going, and this person's running around doing this, or this person feels like this person wants that, or this situation is demanding that. And it's going to help you sort of realize where you sort of sit within all of that. Let's put that chakra back. Where you sit within all that in order for you to get the best out of the situation, and where best to put in your energies into the world around you in regards to the relationship. So it may be a stage here where some relationships may need more work, more sort of passion, more sort of in-depth thing. There doesn't seem to be major decisions being orientated in one thing or the other. I think it's a general sort of passion across the board, really. We'll come back to that if need be. Let's just see what's going on with your heart chakra. Okay, so this is, I can understand this. This is you know, there's a lot going on within, so on the left-hand side, on the right-hand side, let's just pull that chakra out. Let's just put it flat. So we've got like, it's like a fan. So you've got the fan that comes out like that, but behind the crossing point of a fan, you've got the little bit of fan out the bottom there, which is like equivalent to the back of your heart chakra. And as we go round the petals, you've got these ones here, which is 1, 2, 3, fourth petal in from both sides, which is very organizing petal. It seems to be like things are coming into play. I don't know if they're necessarily there, but things are coming into play where you've got your organized heart's desires according to your relationship side, but also your work side. And it's very harmonious, I would say. And it's more connected with the collective rather than the individual. So in regards to relationship, it's more concerned with family, friends and community rather than one-to-one relationship on those petals there. And they're quite big. So it seems like you're spreading yourself out a lot. You're connecting to a lot of people, both in your material world and also in your relationship world. And doing networking and connecting with people, I think, is probably quite important for you at the moment. There is out the front in petal here, in this in the front petals, is where it does pop out a little bit. So there is this notion of one-to-one relationship. It could be a case of building your existing relationship that you're in, or it could be the fact that you're meeting someone, but it seems like a timid meeting. It may not be like that explosive firework sort of thunderbolt sort of realization with someone. It's like a love that grows on you over time, you know, and after a while you just kind of realize and you kind of say, do you know what, that person there, actually, yeah, they're all right. You know, I'm not saying that physically. I mean, in the sense of a heart, you know, you kind of go, yeah, I get on really well with that person. You know, we actually have a lot in common. We have fun. We enjoy. That'd be interesting. It's food for thought, basically. And that's what seems to be your position with that solar plexus. It's food for thought. You've got this whole sort of thing of potentials within you. And there's a lot of potentials here. And I think you've got time to work it out, and maybe this week here is that week of, you know, just sitting there and observing what is going on around you in order for you to get the best deal out of the situation. You know, I don't want to, you know, sort of devalue love at all, but you know, there's a give and take. There's a fair exchange between love. And when you're in a good relationship, that fair exchange is very healthy. And it seems like that seems to be what you're looking for in a one-to-one relationship, is a fair exchange between two sides of the relationship. That's what it seems to be there. Within the groups of the relationship on your relationship side, and then the groups that are on your financial side, which is actually this side, and then there's your relationship side. But here is much more it's a much wider brush. So therefore you're connecting, or you're covering a lot more ground through socializing and stuff like that. Very practical socializing by the looks of it. Not necessarily sort of like off the cuff sort of relationship. It's or networking or connecting with people. It's very much more sort of organized and structured and stuff like that. Let's just see what's going on in your third eye and your throat chakra. Well, your third eye is certainly a little bit more pronounced than your throat chakra, it's connected to your sacrum in a way. They sort of play off each other, swing off each other, as it were. And, you know, the sacrum is a lot more balanced than your third eye and your throat chakra. So there might be a lot more sort of mental activity going on. And this is why this week here could be a good week of observation, to actually observe what's going on. So then you can take the ingredients of life in order to make the best cake for you. That's what it seems like. So it's not overthinking at all. I don't think that at all. I do think there's a lot of emotions going on within your solar plexus and within your heart. but it's playing smart, I think, a little bit with your emotions, really. Not allowing yourself to be run ragged by your emotions, which can so easily happen with Pisces, because you're such an emotionally charged and an engaged person, really. You know, there's Pisces love that engagement of emotions, of enjoyment, of the exchange, of the exploration and stuff like that. And but here is you know, it's a very poised and balanced investigation, but certainly there's huge amounts of potential within you. Let's just see what's going on with the crown chakra. This is good. This is, I think, we could quite happily say that 2022 was a bit of a mixed bag for you, Pisces. If I look back over the readings which we did over the last year, it certainly had moments of amazing highs, but there were some moments of hardship and big lows. And overall, you could say it was a mixed bag, and it was, you know, it wasn't really a good year and it wasn't a bad year at all either. And here in your crown chakra, there is, it's quite heavily weighted. There is a lot of energy in there, but it's not oppressive. Doesn't seem to be oppressive. The structure is nice, but it's not either structurally sort of like squared off. It's got curvature on it. It's got shape. It's certainly got personality. And I think this is where your consciousness is kind of sort of saying, if I'm going to connect with other people around me, I want to connect in a way that is also, you know, sort of beneficial, or sort of in cohesion or cohesion with my good self, and with my, you know, with the way I think. And I think if you're looking for someone, you're going to be looking for someone who actually not thinks the same as you, but has got the same attitude, if you know what I mean. So it's going to make life a lot easier. So that crown chakra is really nice. Generally, it's actually pretty good compared with compared with all the other signs that I've seen. It's that potential on the solar plexus that I just want to have a second look at here. You're ready. You're spring loaded, ready to pounce, basically. So if there is opportunities arriving for you this week, I would really pounce on them. I wouldn't hold back. It's a bit of a sprint rather than a long distance run here. So it's a case of seizing the opportunity, running with it, and then, you know, watching it grow sort of scenario. So in your business world, or your job, or your projects, you know, it's the same thing as well within the relationships as well. It's got to be said. So, you know, it could be that idea of kind of you noticing someone that you've been around, you've known them for a very long time, and all of a sudden you can see them in a different light. And it could be seizing that moment to start the ball rolling. Once the ball's rolling, you can relax a little bit, if you know what I mean. So there may be this sort of aspect within you. Let's just see what's going on your aura. Let's just see how that sort of like plays out. Okay, this is much more of a telltale sign than your crown chakra. There is a lot of emotions going on inside that head. I didn't want to say in the crown chakra because it wasn't totally like that, but there is quite a bit of water up in that crown chakra. A lot of emotions, not really, shouldn't be that charged with it, but it's not heavily overcharged, but it's something you need to watch out for. It's all very well thinking about that person's lovely and maybe I should, you know, ask them out for a cup of coffee or something like that, and actually doing it. And that's the difference, you know, carpe diem, isn't it? You know, seize the day sort of thing. I think that's going to play through you at the moment. And that's what I mean about short runs rather than sprints, rather than long distance running. Get into these sprints. If you get into these sprints, I think it's going to pay off for you in lots of different ways. Lots of different avenues could be open. And as you go through your birthday season, you start this new year of 2023, you're going to be able to seize on the opportunities that you've opened up over this period of the next sort of like month and a half, as we go through your birthday season and we really get into the next season of Aries. So at the end of the month of March, when we go through magical March, all of a sudden, if you have pushed these opportunities, and I think that's a good idea, getting out of your head and allowing your emotions to guide you, at that point there, you're going to open lots of opportunities that in the coming future, in the next 2 or 3 weeks, you're going to be able to build on those opportunities. If you don't open them up now, over these next week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, you might be limited in your choices in the coming year. So I would, look at sprinting opportunities. So short opportunities that can be opened up and explored very quickly, and then left to grow, so you can come back and nurture them, come back later on and really start getting fruit out of them. So it's definitely here within your aura, it's definitely wider at the top. So you're carrying you're a bit top heavy. You're carrying a bit of it too much in your brain. And that's probably why the third eye was a little bit bigger than the throat chakra. It wasn't so in balance as with the sacrum. So if there is too much inside your head, it's good to get into that meditation where you can just bring that soap bubble down to the entire body that pops when it gets to your toes, just to bring the energy back into your sensation chakras, because we don't actually feel anything in the brain at all. There is no sensations whatsoever in the brain. And what is the problem here is putting those emotions in your brain. Not a good idea. Don't really mix. The monkey mind up there doesn't really know what to do with it. And it is like asking a monkey to, drive a car. I'm sure for a moment they're going to be able to do a bit. I love monkeys. We're all some form of monkey, aren't we? But they, don't ask them to do a sort of like postal round. Let's just say, it's that they can understand and they can get that logical aspect to the emotions, but they can't actually feel it. So I would concentrate on getting into your body this week and feeling the situations and seeing how you can get yourself a little bit unstuck from the situation and moving on in a way that's opening up opportunities for you for this coming year. The more you open up at the moment, the more possibilities you have. And you do have huge amounts of potential within that sacrum. So let's get into your weekly reading now. Let's just see what's going on here. That is a very Pisces cup. The 7 of Cups. This is the overall energy that's running through you. So you've got lots of opportunities here. As I said, lots of potential. And what you need to do is you need to open all those different potentials, and eventually you will realize the one cup, which is your evident path, which is what you should be following. So this week here is observing those potentials, observing those different cups, and seeing which paths or which things are the evident path for you. It's just evident that I should be doing it. And then opening it up, sprinting, and sort of giving it an injection of that solar plexus, that bit of force, that courage and everything like that. And as you do, all of a sudden, you're going to be in a situation where you're going to see what the evident path is. Now, this is your karmic path. This is the 3 of Swords. Now, is it your karma to separate from someone? I'm not sure it is. I didn't seem to get that feeling in the heart chakra. It might be for some of you that you are going through a painful separation. That is very possible. But actually, I think here, because it's on your karmic mission and rather on the outside, I think here is more a case of your karmic mission here is to get over past emotional difficulties in regards to relationships that are around you. Say goodbye to that painful separation, even if you're no longer with that person. It might be that person keeps coming back inside your thinking. And this is the week to sort of let go of it, draw a line above it and move on, basically, by the looks of it. Yeah, patience. The universe here, this is the universe. This is in petal 1. So this is how the universe is influencing this karmic path. Be patient with yourself. But also, and this is what I say all the time about the Temperance card, patience comes before action. And sitting there observing of what's going on within the relationships that are around you, and within maybe observing the people that you might want to be with. And this is it, maybe asking that person out to, you know, for a coffee or something like that, might be confronting the fears of separation that you might have had in the past. And, you know, I say about the Temperance card is, yes, it's knowing when to put your foot on the accelerator as much as knowing when to take your foot off. And this is all about timing here for you, I think. So that's coming in from the universe. These are your guides that are trying to influence your karmic path. And we got the Ace of Wands. So a passionate idea that can be converted into a very fiery relationship, basically. Around you, this is where you guys are trying to influence in the coincidences, and they're bringing things in that are going to start a ball rolling for you, basically. And as I said, I think it could be recognizing that person that you're interested in. It could be recognizing things about your partner that you kind of think, do you know what, I didn't realize that, and that's really I'm looking at my partner in a completely different way now. This is good. I think it's a very good thing of initiating that fire that is within you, because you do have huge amounts of fire, Pisces. You have all that fire that comes through from Aries, which is your neighbor. So you do have a huge amount of fire in you, and you're very passionate about things when you allow. And there's also, you got that fire coming in with Taurus as well, which is just coming over through this section here. Which is really good for you, and that's going to fuel that sort of fire as well. The sun has been very active as well, and that's sort of got it, you know, things moving and bubbling up, and the passionate front. Where your guides are trying to influence the conversation, this is this card here, number the 8 of Cups. Now this is really good, because this is your karmic mission here. I feel for the majority of you Pisces is to get over, to finally say goodnight to an old connection, old relationship that was around you, that, you know, that may be popping up with a lot of, if this happened or this has happened, maybe it would have been different. Let go of it and walk away, and walk towards the sun, walk towards your happiness. Look at this, you've got the 7 of Cups and 8 of Cups there as well. It's very leading on from something, and it's finding that evident path which comes from that 1 cup that's going to lead you to the sunshine, to your pure happiness. Should be really good within your relationships. I think it's worthwhile taking a punt. Do you say that in America? It's like taking a risk, I think, within your relationships that are around you. Look at this. This is what's setting it off and heading towards that sun. The karmic path here in your financial sort of side. This is to do with your job and your businesses and your projects and stuff like that. There's a lot of happiness. This is where you've got to understand is sort of at the moment of where you're observing situations, and with that enormous amount of potential that you do have in your solar plexus, you have that huge amounts of happiness, possible happiness that is within you. And it's realizing it this week, realizing what you want to go after. And it is provoking it as well. It's shining the light. It's a little bit like the light that the devil brings to the party. But here is just pure happiness that should be driving you to sort of exploit or open opportunities that are around you. We got 2 aces on the table already here, which is really, really nice. You know, and the Ace of Swords is gifts from the universe that come out of left field. They come out of middle of nowhere, really, and it could well be sort of tied to sort of passions that you do that connect you to. So it could be a case of, for some of you, it might be a case of, I'm really passionate about candles, scented candles, for example, and I make scented candles in my kitchen. And all of a sudden you realise, you kind of go, do you know what? I could sell these scented candles, and it makes me happy. It makes me really enjoy to create a scented candle that's going to provide happiness for other people as well. And that could be that driving force and just that gift that comes out of nowhere from the universe, which provokes a lot of things for you. There is 2 cards there. I'm going to take that. So this is how the guides are trying to help you. We've got the Moon and the High Priestess, 2 major arcana. The High Priestess is definitely someone who has inner vision that can see forth, see things as they're turning out. And the good thing is you've got the Moon with it as well. So you have that capacity to see opportunities, because if you are observing around you, you're going to be able to see those opportunities, as I said earlier on, and you're going to have to push on them. And that's what the Sun's all about, and the Ace of Swords is all about, is pushing those doors, pushing those opportunities, going for a bit of a sprint. And I think you're going to see all the pros and cons of it. And that's what the Moon's all about, exposing the hidden things of it, which is going to open up sort of opportunities and success for you in regards to your career path and your business and etc. Let's just see what's going on with that. This is how your guides are this is how your guides are helping you out with the conversation that is within you. Now on this side of things, you've got the 10 of Swords, 10 of Wands, sorry. And the 10 of Wands is carrying too much. And this is what we talked about in the crown chakra as well. There is a little bit of that. I think this is also, the 10 of Wands is coming to the end of a journey rather than continually going on. But it's coming to the end of the journey where, because you can see these opportunities, you will be unloading things in order to take on these new opportunities. I think this is also a way of what you've learned in the past is going to serve you in the going future. And that's what the 10 of Wands is all about, in order for you to see your evident path going forward. Let's just see what's coming out in the end of it all. 5 of Cups. 5 of Cups. 5 of Cups is usually about disappointment, yeah? But I don't think it's disappointment per se. I think there's a funny story going on here. So you got the 5 of Cups where she's holding that 1 cup, right? And then you've got the 8 of Cups where she's walking away from that 1 cup. And then you have the 7 of Cups where you have that 1 cup that's giving you that water. And sometimes as you unload and you seize on these opportunities, it may close doors on others. And it could tie into this 3 of Swords here. We're just saying goodbye to something. You may feel that you're disappointed within yourself or disappointed in the situation rather, disappointed in the situation rather than disappointed within yourself, because she's carrying that 1 cup and there is that pathway that is behind her, that if she realized that, rather than just examining now, that examining period for some of you is still going on because your birthday is not here as yet. But for some of you, it's going to be moving on to that cup and walking away and walking towards the evident path which you're going from. And as we do look in the past, obviously everything in the past, we will have regrets about. We can't have regrets about the future because we haven't done it yet. So it's a little bit of that. I think it's working out in the past saying, oh, if that could have worked, that would have been brilliant. But it didn't work. So now what are we going to do about it? That sort of thing. Let's just see. I want to see where it's going. Let me pick out a few cards that to help elucidate that 5 of Cups and seeing what is what's that working through. Okay, so we got the 7 of Cups again up here, which is brilliant. So it is recognizing, and I think you've got to go through that self-examination. And I think that self-examination for some of you will be still going on for the next couple of weeks. But for some of you, I think it's come to an end and you realise the evident path which you should be going on, which is towards that Sun, which is on this side here. Just be careful of the amount of, work and play ethic, I think, within your life at the moment. And the Lovers. Yeah, I think this is a case of actually realising how beautiful you are, more than anything else. It's the unladening of your life, so then all of a sudden you're going to realize how good you've been and how good you are, and realizing that potential that we were talking about in your solar plexus that is within you. Let's just see what's going on up there. Page of Pentacles. Yeah, I think this is learning a new way of doing things in a physical way. It's going to give you a realization that actually, if I want certain things out of life, maybe I have to do it slightly differently in order to get it. Manifestation, basically. And that's really good for manifestation. I think your guides are trying to encourage that within you at the moment. Certainly on the business side, I think you're really set for a really beautiful future. You do have to exploit a few opportunities, and you do have to push it a little bit. But certainly on the relationship side, I think you need to free up. And that's why the heart chakra wasn't quite, the front petal wasn't totally as wide and as big as the side ones. Because I think you're shopping at the moment, but I think you do want to have one love, as it were. And that could be difficult times that you've had with an existing partner at the moment, and you're working through them. All partnerships go through that at some point, and as you work through them, it's certainly going to provide for a completely new pathway for you going forward. So there you go, Pisces. Thank you very much for being with us here on the Astroflower. We will be doing live healings coming up on this channel on a Sunday, because that's what I do as an occupation. I've been doing healings for the last 30 years. So we will be doing that tonight. So you can request a healing session on anything physical, spiritual, or energetically within you. And we can go through the healing process, and you can even join in healing other people, which is great. We can all help each other out here on these lives that we're going to be doing. So you're going to want to subscribe, click that bell, in order to get notifications for what the time is of when the live comes out and stuff like that. And also sharing this video across all social media platforms will be helping us out, those. And I do thank you for that. In the meantime, Pisces, don't forget, life should be fun. So please do enjoy.